How's it going, everybody? Brian again with Buffalo Beer Reviews. We are just hitting our date to keg, my first brew in this Fermzilla. A couple of the things that I've really noticed a big difference and improvement over either the fermentation buckets or the glass carboys. One is really the ease in that conical shape in that collection jar. That protein drop, that sort of crash protein drop, real easy to discard on, say, day 3 and replace with your dry hops and release that butterfly valve again, and you just see the whole thing kind of take charge. I was a little worried about, that 1 liter volume of collection jar. I'll show you in a second. But I did fill up 2 of the collection jars and put them into my bucket fermenter just to see what kind of volume we're talking about. Like, that would have been where the protein or the yeast trube would have been normally, that wouldn't be transferring into the keg. So it looked like 2, maybe 3 liters or 3 collection jars were going to be just about how much volume my yeast takes up out of the normal brew buckets. I only dumped 2 of the collection jars. So I did the initial 3-day protein drop. I discarded, put my dry hops in, released the lever, boom, there's your volume. Then I was able to do another sort of collection of the hop tube and some more sediment, and I took that out, replaced it with the second dry hopping, opened it up, and I've just left it there. And I'll kind of show you what it looks like. So you can kind of see it's real, like, nice and dense and all that good stuff. I did end up putting the CO2 to it, and I pressurized it at about 6 psi so that I didn't have these super high psi settings. I'm going to, I believe this is that's my sanitizer. I have a clean keg right there. So what I'm going to do is, this is at 6 psi, and I'm going to pressurize the empty keg at 10 so that it's slightly higher so that it doesn't carbonate or all the carbonation doesn't come out of solution during the transfer from the fermenter to the keg. What's real nice is I kind of did everything with the collection ball or the serving sort of system all intact, and I was able to put the picnic handle onto it just to do like my gravity readings and stuff like that. It was real nice. I'm gonna switch that off for my liquid to liquid line into the keg. But I'm gonna get that going. I got a saison that I just brewed actually today. I'll move that out of the way. I'll get the kegs going. Maybe I'll set up this this camera for a better shot. Okay, empty, clean keg. I'll take the spout off this. Empty, clean keg. I'm going to pressurize that. Here's my in. So I'm going to pressurize that to 10. Get the air, purge all the air out of it. and you can kind of hear, you can hear the CO2 transfer kind of slowing down a little bit. You know you're up to your 10 psi. So now I'm going to have to fill this up a little bit higher than 10 just to get the liquid moving in the right direction. And then I'll bleed the keg every once in a while just to keep the transfer moving. Okay, that's that. There you go. Really, really cool. It's moving. I'll pick back up after the transfer is done. So that's really about it. I was able to really effortlessly transfer from my fermenter into my keg. I really, really dig it. I could see maybe doing a little bit of fine tuning with the floater ball and the end of that dip tube or like the pickup tube. It just seems like the excess slack, like the U-shaped slack as it comes back up to the surface, kind of, if you don't have a full-on dump of the tube, that dependent loop kind of gets stuck on the hard material, hard matter, whatnot, and doesn't kind of sink as low as maybe your volume might go. That's why you saw me at the end maybe like tilting the fermenter a little bit just to kind of get as much product into the keg as possible. That's another kind of thing, like fermenting under pressure, you're able to kind of go low and slow, low PSIs for, a week or so. This is my first time doing it, just making sure that the pressure levels are either equal to one another, keg versus fermenter, or even just say a little bit higher on the fermenter side. But you saw me like the keg was a little bit higher and it kind of pushed the bubbles back upwards into the keg initially. But once I got the pressures equalized and a little bit higher on the fermenter side, it started moving. And another thing with the fermentation, like I'm worried, like I'd like to know exactly how much is in my keg, but I'm worried because it is carbonated, that if I took the lid off, that it may escape or foam or God knows what. So I'm a little hesitant about doing that. So I think what I'm going to do is, to make it easier for myself in the future, is I'm going to get that gallon markings added to the fermenter side, so I can get a pretty good estimate as to, the volume that's going into the fermenter and into the keg and all that other stuff. So that's it. I gotta tell you, I really like it. One, I really dig that this thing is carbonated. All it needs to do is really just chill in the kegerator until it's ready to drink it tomorrow or whatever. So that's really, really cool. I'm gonna get it taken apart and cleaned, and probably that already looks like it's gonna be a pretty easy job as well. Let it sit overnight with some PBW, come back and finish up the cleaning tomorrow. So that's about it for me, guys. I hope you guys liked the little look into a pressurized transfer with the Fermzilla. So get at me. Let me know if you have any questions or whatnot. I'll try to answer them best of my abilities. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.